What's up, friends? What's going on? I think I went live on accident, but this is on purpose. Post that in there in the young chat. How you guys doing? What's up with it? That's ladies' night for the ladies. What's going down? I got some bars for you, and this is the process of evolution, involution, inspire, and expire. It's a real cold game, and I think it can help. I hope it helps. And if it doesn't help you, then I'm gonna catch you next time. But I hope it helps because it helped me when I was just checking out some words. So how you guys doing? What's up? How's life? Hopefully everything is good in your world. And just remember that the game don't stop and you got to keep it moving. All right. So this is evolution, involution, inspire, and expire. And, you know, I've been really on my word shit heavy. I've been really looking up words and just seeing what they mean. And hopefully, guys, all is well in your world, with your family, with your children, with your money, with your love life and things like that. And hopefully you are good. As for me, I'm keeping it moving, man, trying to age like fine wine. What's going on, man? Talk to me. I talk back. How you guys doing? Where you guys from? Let me shout some people out. You know, I got one eye, so, you know, where you guys from? Let me show some love. Call out your city, man. Let me give you some love. What's up? I see Brittany in the building. We got Adrian in the building. Where y'all from? What's up with it? We have to get more familiar with each other. All right. West Palm in the building. All right. You see, I need to know y'all city. So when I'm there, I'm on y'all bumper. So I don't want to hear nothing. When I'm in your town, I'm hitting you up. We got Rob Beasy from Dallas. We got Youngstown. We got Mr. from ATL. What it do? Sean from Minnesota. We got Houston in the building. We got Omaha, Nebraska in the building. What it do? What's happening, y'all? Kansas in the building. I'm telling you, because I'm on the road all summer. So when I'm in y'all towns, I don't want to hear nothing. You know what I'm saying? I like food and I'm only sipping wine, no liquor and champagne. Just to let y'all know, we got Baltimore. You right down the street, Nicole. We got Uniontown in the building. What's up? Rest of everything, your family. Come eat some wings. Okay, I hear that. Okay, I hear that. So B-more, another B-more in the building. I'm right down the street. I'm in DC. We got Tampa, Denver. What up? Sean, bro. Minnesota. It's kind of cold, but I will come through there if you could show me where they film Purple Rain. If you could show me where they film Purple Rain, you got a deal. All right. So wherever you at, I hope everything is good, and I hope what we do here, you can use in your environment. That's what we do this for. And some things I'll talk about, it may resonate with you. Others won't. DC in the building. What's good? I'm in DC. What's happening? Free parking. That's what's up. All right. So let's dive into it. Everything good. Shout out to the ladies that cop ladies night. Shout out to the ladies that cop ladies night. I hope that book is helping y'all. I hope that, it's helping you navigate it. I wrote it specifically for women, and it's not really on no simp shit, but it's just designed to give the ladies a different perspective from a male. So it's what I would talk to when I'm talking to my niece or my sister. It's that kind of game. So I hope the ladies that cop that, I hope that you're using it to navigate. There's another one I have, and this is more, it's not necessarily for guys, but it's for everybody, and that's nothing but game. So I'm dropping back to back. So look for that in the next 2 weeks. So that's nothing but game. So, like I said, salute to all the ladies that copped it. All Linda, what's up? Rod, that's what's up. All right. So without further ado, let's dive head first in the game. I hope you can swim. And, what I'm learning by doing this, like if you want to master something, then you should teach it. If you want to master something, you should teach it. If you really want to learn something, you should just start talking about it. And even if you're fumbling and messing up, that's cool, because it's on the job training. Like, so some of the words that I'm using, this is just me being inquisitive. I'm a high school dropout. So evolution, involution, things like that. I wasn't privy to learning about this in school because I was skipping. I was skipping class. I was being a knucklehead. So it's funny that I nerd out right now because 20 years ago, look, I skipped so much in school that I showed up in class, in my math class, and the dude thought I was a new student. So he had no record of me even being in class. That's how much I skipped class. One day I just decided to go to math. But so it's just funny how things come full circle. All right. So what I've been doing really is I've been on etymology hard body. I've been on etymology hard. There's also someone I met on Facebook. Her name is Kamisha McDowell. She's real dope at etymology. So if you can find her, she's dope. But I've been on etymology real hard, and I really want to know what words mean and how to use those words and apply it to my life. Okay. So a lot of the times we use words and we don't know what they mean. We think we know what they mean, but we don't know what they mean. They have a whole entire meaning. And I've realized when we use language differently, we start to move a little bit differently. So I've been on etymology real hardcore. All right. So I chose involution. I chose evolution, involution, inspire, expire. They're two opposites and they go the opposite direction, but they really affect our life. So a lot of times we hear about evolution and we think about from monkey to man. That's a Western ideal of creation. It's just a theory like everything else. Some people believe it, some people don't, but it's Western. You go to Asia, they don't really go by those concepts. You go to anywhere in the world, they have a different creation story. But here in America, our creation history is really dominated by those scientists that follow Darwinism. Okay. So when we think of evolution and we hear the word, we think about from going from monkey to man, but we don't really think about family and family upgrading. So I want to really talk about that. And then we're going to go to involution. Then we're going to go to inspire. And then we're going to go to expire. All right. So inspiration and expiration. All right. So we're going to go from evolution to involution, inspiration and expiration. All right. So if I fumble a little bit, bear with me because I wasn't the best student. OK, so with involution, evolution is not just a theory of going from monkey to man and beings changing their nature. I'm going to read the etymology, then I'm going to go into the definition. So evolution, the etymology of it is an opening of what was rolled up. And I'm going to relate this to you. All right. So the word is a 16th century word. It's a noun, and it's an opening up of what was rolled up. Okay. So say you got a daddy or a mother that had potential and they never reached that potential. And then you, the child, comes and finish what the daddy started, or you finish what the mother started, whether that's business, a music career, whatever it is. It's an opening of what was rolled up. Now, when you come from my background and you look like me, God damn, we have a lot of stories of people that never reached their full potential. We have de-evolution going on in the places that we're from. Oh, make sure you share this video too. It's very easy. All you got to do is click share. All right, cool. So we have de-evolution going on. So evolution means an opening of what was rolled up. That's the etymology of it. It's a 16th century word. And it really, really got popular when Charles Darwin wrote Origin of Species and people that follow his work. So we see evolution in the lexicon a lot. So let's get into the modern use of evolution. All right. Now pay close attention to this definition because this shit relates to you and your family, you and your bloodline. Okay. Evolution, descent with modification from pre-existing species, cumulative inherited change in a population of organisms through time leading to the appearance of new forms, the process by which new species or populations of living things develop from pre-existing forms through successive generations. That was a lot. I don't want to read it again. You get the gist, all right? Another definition, the historical development of a biological group, and in parentheses it had race or species. And there's a word they use for that is phylogeny. It's P-H-Y-L-O-G-N-Y, just in case you want to look at that up. So it's P-H-Y-L-O-G-E-N-Y. Another definition, process of change in a certain direction, unfolding. The action of an instance of forming and giving something off, admissions. Process of continuous change from a lower, simpler, or worse to a higher, more complex or better state. So I ask you, are you a better version of your daddy? Are you a better version of your mama? Don't just think evolution in terms of monkeys going to man like they tell us in Western schools. Look at your household. Are you a better version of your mama and daddy? Okay. Are you a better version of Malcolm? Are you a better version of Martin? Are you a better version of Garvey or Muhammad Ali or Andre Agassi? If you were, we wouldn't always be talking about them. We would be talking about you, right? Garvey has been dead for a very long time. Noble Drew Ali has been dead for a very long time. These great thinkers from our culture have been dead a very long time. Why are they more popping than living people? That is de-evolution, right? De-evolution. Listen to the definitions again. The actions or an instance of forming and giving off something, process of continuous change from a lower, simpler, or worse to higher, more complex or better state. So I ask you again, are you a better version of those people that you keep quoting every day? You know, there's religious people around the world, and some people follow Muhammad, some people follow Jesus, some people follow Buddha, right? Personally, I wouldn't follow any thought system if I couldn't eclipse the person that I'm studying. If I am going to do all this work, but I still can't go past the person that I'm studying, then that means what I'm studying has a ceiling, and eventually I'm going to expire. I'm going to get to that, right? So if you can't go past your mama and you can't go past your daddy, eventually you're going to hit a creative wall. Okay, there's no excuse for people that died 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 years ago, and they're more popping than people that's living now. There's no excuse for me to act out the behavior of my grandfather. And if my grandfather had a behavior that was toxic, if my grandfather had a behavior that rubbed people the wrong way, if my grandfather showed a behavior that he couldn't get over the hump, that's not evolution based on the definition. The historical development of a biological group. Right? The historical development of a biological group. All right. Also, descent with modification from pre-existing species. Garvey's pre-existing, Malcolm's pre-existing, Genghis Khan's pre-existing. Cumulative inherited change in a population of organisms through time, leading to the appearance of new forms, the process by which new species or populations of living things develop from pre-existing forms through successive generations. Yo, I get to travel and I don't see no change. I see devolving. Okay. There was a time where people that looked like me had a lot of land. There was a time where people that looked like me had a lot of businesses. There was a time where people looked like me had a lot of family structure. Now, when I move around, that land, that family structure, those businesses, I don't see them. So is that evolution? Okay. And our view of evolution must change based on We can't just look at it from a monkey to man standpoint. When you look at our environment, there is no evolution going on. You have de-evolution. All right. The reason why there's no evolution going on is because there's no involution going on. And involution is the opposite of evolution. Involution is a physical movement up the biological ladder. Evolution is a physical movement up the biological ladder. Evolution is a spiritual movement, a spiritual upgrade. And we're going to get into that. But do y'all get the concept of evolution? It is a change. It is a movement. That means I should not find you where I found your father. I should not find you where I found your mother. I should not find you where I've been finding your bloodline based on the concepts of evolution, right? Because the process of continuous change from a lower, simpler, or worse to higher, more complex or better state. All right. My father is supposed to be lower and simpler. I'm supposed to be a better version. I'm supposed to be higher, more complex. I'm supposed to be better than my mama. I'm supposed to be better than my grandmother. Or else what was the purpose of even bringing life into the planet? If I can't give my son advanced information based on my trial and error so he be better than me, then that is de-evolution. And what happens is when we start to devolve, natural selection begins to work against us. Okay, so then what happens is your bloodline gets in the state of slum, the state of poverty. You feel me? You have families that cannot get over the hump. There's no there's no evolution happening. Okay? There's no evolution happening because there's no involution happening. Now, I'm not sure if a lot of people heard of involution. We're all familiar with evolution, but not we don't talk about involution. What is involution? The etymology of involution is the condition of being twisted or coiled. Twisted or coiled. All right. So when you're dealing with, I'll go down the lines: African American, Negro, Afro American, blacks, whatever, minority. You're dealing with a lot of twisted and coiled potential. It never quite unfolds. Okay. We're always kind of behind the creative and intellectual and financial 8-ball. And that's because of involution. That thing that is inside of us never quite is allowed to come out. Not is allowed, because it is allowed to come out. It just doesn't. And it doesn't because of environmental conditioning. And it doesn't because of our nutrition. And it doesn't because of inspiration and expiration. And I'll get in that to later, right? But involution. Involution is from the 4th century. Now, here's the ill thing about involution. Involution is an older word than evolution. Evolution is from the 16th century. Involution is from the 14th century. Okay, so evolution is the process of when something in twisted and coiled begins to unfold. That's what potential is, right? It's like a seed. When you plant a seed, it has all this potential in it. One of my favorite places that I visited before was the Redwood Forest. And the Redwood Forest up in the Bay Area was so trippy to me because the trees were so big. They were so thick, right? They were so big and they were so thick, right? But all those trees started as a seed. Okay. All those trees started out in involution. All those trees started as a seed, and that potential was twisted and that potential was coiled. But through photosynthesis, it becomes untangled. It becomes uncoiled. It becomes twisted. So for your evolution, your involutionary process to begin, you need environment. So before we ever get to evolution, we got to go through involution. Evolution only exists is because involution started to take form and have potential, but you need water, you need soil, you need environment. It's environment that starts to produce and starts to extract that which is hidden, right? So, involution. Let me block you. I'm not with you today. I'm not gonna do you today. I'm not doing this block party. I'm not gonna do him today. So, involution. Y'all understand? Y'all all got it. Like all of us, we have things that are twisted and coiled. Maybe that's ideals. Maybe that's desires. Maybe that's dreams. If it's not coming out of you, it's involution, because involution is the condition of being twisted or coiled, a fold of entanglement, right? The chaos that's going on in your mind is going on in your mind like that because you don't have, I'm going to use Linda's word, a flow. You got to have a flow, right? So when we go to swampland, right, the water's not moving. So when the water not moving, it has different creatures around it. You have flies, mosquitoes. You have a lot of creatures that's attracted to swampland, right? Water has to move. Water has to move. Water has to flow, or is involved in involution, because the same process that evolution has, involution is moving the opposite direction. So it's tangled. So when you see a lot of people that are on the street, and they're homeless and they can't, and they feel like they don't have nothing to contribute. They feel down on their luck. When you start talking to these people, you'll find out that these people have a lot of desires. You found like that these people were once dreamers. So what happens to these ideals that can't be expressed? What happens to those desires? What happens to that motivation when you can't express it? It starts to work against you. Okay. Because thoughts are weight, right? Thoughts are weight. Right? And if you don't get out your desires, and if you can't express yourself, your body is going to start going through involution. The same way evolution is a physical process and movement and a development, you'll start to reverse. You'll start to go the other way. You have to create. You have to draw. You have to write. You have to sing. You have to paint. You have to build. Okay. A lot of the times, even at your workplace is still not allowing you to create. Now, I'm not telling you to quit your job. No, don't put that on me. Do not put that on me. But what I am telling you to is you still got to find a time to create. You still have to find a time to evolve, because if you don't, your potential is going to begin to eat at you. What does evolution mean? Condition of being twisted or coiled, right? So that's something like this, right? It needs to be made straight so it can flow. Okay. So evolution is a result of potential from when it, let me say that right. Evolution is the after effect of involution, because the word involution is older, but the root word of this is involve. Involution is really involve. Okay. Now I'll be better to break it down to you when I use it in that term. Involution is really involved. Okay. Some of us have been involved with a mate, but we've never been involved with ourselves. Some of us have been involved with a job, but we've never been involved with ourselves. Some of us are involved in a bunch of shit that ain't got nothing to do with evolution. Some of us are just chatting. Some of us are nosy. Some of us are gossiping. Some of us is just petty. You involved in the dumb shit. But if I asked you, have you worked on your goal today? Do you have an intimacy with your skill? The answer is going to be no, right? Some of us want to do something, but we are not involved with, no, let me speak real. Some of us are full of shit. Some of us are full of shit because it takes a lot of energy to go get a pack of cigarettes. It takes a lot of energy to call somebody's number up and to gossip about another person. It takes a lot of energy to be in that comment section on Facebook, on YouTube, trolling. That takes a lot of energy. You got to turn your phone on. You got to scroll, right? You got to type the words, right? That same energy that you're using to do dumb shit, you could be using with for yourself, but you don't know how to be involved, because to be involved, it takes confidence. Involve is involution. Spell it out, right? Involve is involution. So you have involution, then you have evolution. Okay, so now the seed has sprouted and the seed is bearing fruit, right? You are the seed, right? You come from your father, you come from your mother. You're supposed to be a more complete version of your father and mother. And that's a shame that we come from a culture and we're still sucking Malcolm off. We're still sucking Martin Luther King off. You mean to tell me nobody has came with a more improved grassroots movement than the civil rights movement? And respect to them. But goddamn, you know what? I believe the United States military have improved on Napoleon Bonaparte. I believe that there are generals right now that improved on General Patton. I believe that the United States has dominated more than Nero and Cicero. I believe that the mystery school now has improved on the mystery school then, right? What about you? Okay, you're not really going to hear me talk about Garvey. Salute to Garvey, but it's my time now. You're not really going to hear me talk about Malcolm this and Malcolm that. He had his time. A living dog is better than a dead lion. And I'll be damned if people that are dead are more popping than me. That's a problem. And that's not disrespectful, right? But I'm supposed to stand on the shoulders of people that were once great. And because I can stand on the shoulders, that makes me greater. A midget sitting on the shoulders of a giant can see much further than a giant. So you mean to tell me we come from a culture that is still talking about Malcolm, the ballad or the bullet? You have not seen further than whether he's a giant and you're the midget. It don't matter. That midget sitting on that giant's shoulder can see further than that giant. You understand? So that midget has the advantage. I don't give a damn about the height. What I do care about is evolution and involution. And we come from a culture that is devolving. So we have a culture that is really, we come from a culture that is really, really trapped in involution. Twisted and coiled potential. Twisted and coiled potential. So the thing about the way evolution works, Donald, peep it like this. If you look at a cheetah and a lion, you know they don't get food every day, right? Because what they're chasing have tripled their effort in escape. Okay? What a cheetah chases is very hard to catch. So if they tripled their effort to destroy us, what effort have we tripled to be immune to what they throw at us? For example, crack is a choice. Alcohol is a choice. Okay? Watching shit on TV is a choice. So they're throwing all these curveballs, but what kind of hitters are we? If the pitcher gets more elite, then that means the hitter must evolve, right? To be a better hitter. So what we're saying is they're increasing their effort, but we're just watching them. Talking about them increasing their effort. What that shows is involution. What that shows is potential that's twisted and coiled. We are so shocked at what they're doing that we have not evolved. If the predator evolves, the prey must evolve. A cheetah runs 60 miles an hour. How fast do you think the prey runs? Do you know some cheetahs starve because they can't catch their prey? Do you know some lions go days without eating? Do you know that? Okay, so that means what they're hunting has upgraded. So we can't say that, bro. We can't say that. And if we say that they have upped what they're doing to us and we haven't countered that, then that shows the de-evolution of a species. And based on that, natural selection should remove the species. Natural selection should remove the species because that species has every single thing, all resources available for it to upgrade. You understand? And I come from a crack area. We didn't have to use that shit. We didn't have to sell that shit. We did it. So you make your bed, you got to lie in it. We got to start implementing some tough love now. Okay? There's no excuses. We have a free library. Okay? What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? Right? When you travel out the country, do those people have access to free books? Yes or no? When you go to Mexico City and you go to Africa and you go to Brazil and you go to Asia, do those people have access to free information? No, they don't. China has a kill switch. So there's websites in America you can access. You have a free reign to consume as much as information as you want. You can't do that in China. You can't do that in Indonesia. You can't do that in Africa, right? Some places in Africa don't even have the internet. You understand? People there, some people don't even know what the hell that is. So here we are, the people with all the information and all the resources. We have no excuse to talk about an oppressor. We have no excuse to talk about any type of pain we're feeling because the pain is going to happen regardless. What do we do to counter? Do you understand? You could go to the library right now and read a billionaire's book. Okay. You can read in 2 weeks what it took a billionaire a lifetime to do. Come on, bro. Kings didn't used to write books. Kings didn't used to tell peasants how to rule and how to govern. This is an amazing time, bro. We have to take advantage and we got to kick that monkey off our back and stop the involution. It's that coil potential. You got to evolve to where you look at these people or the system as nothing more than competition and let the best mind win, because it's a battle of the minds. Who got the best mind? That's all it is, because everything comes from the mind. Liquor from the mind, cigarettes from the mind, prison from the mind, projects from the mind. Everything is mental. All is mental. This is a war of the mind. All right. So you got involution, you got evolution, then you got inspiration and expiration. What is inspiration? You know what people say? Music is supposed to inspire. Artists are supposed to inspire. Positive, blah, 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 blah. But what does it mean to inspire? What does inspiration even mean? Let's go to the etymology. And you guys write this down so you can see for yourself. Inspiration. Look, this is the funny thing. Involution was a word before evolution. And inspire was a word before expire. All right. Expire is a verb that came from in the 14th century. Inspiration is from the 13th century in English, in European languages. OK. Inspiration means immediate influence of God or a God. Inspiration means immediate. That means right now. Of a God, of God or a God. When you're inspired, inspiration comes from gods. This is what it says. Inspiration, which is spirit, immediate influence of God or a God. So whatever it is that inspires you is your deity. It also means to inhale, and it deals with breathing. This is all inspiration. Anything that makes you breathe a little better, it's inspiring you. Did you know that? What you call inspiration is something that makes you breathe a little better. So what does expire mean? If inspiration makes you breathe better, what does expire mean? Both of those have to deal with breath. Both of those are spirit. Okay? Inspiration is immediate. I didn't make these words up. We're using these words, so let's find out what they mean. Immediate, not later, not next week, not tomorrow. It says immediate. Immediate influence of God or a God. Right now. That's inspiration. Anything that allows you to inhale and breathe life is deity. Okay? Expiration. Right? What does expiration means? So inspiration means to inhale. So to live on this planet, the first thing you must do is, when a baby is born, it doesn't, this is death. The first thing a child does when it comes out of the mother's womb is inhale. Am I lying? Mothers, you have children. What did your baby do? Did it do this? Or did it do this? Did it do this? Or did it do this? One day I'm going to talk about the science of breathing. All right? The more breaths you exhale, the closer to death you get. We don't even want to take a lot of breaths per minute. Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you know it's more healthy to not breathe out so much? Because to expire means to die, to breathe out, to blow out. That's what expire means. Okay? So when a fruit expires, it has given off all its energy. All right? When a tire blows out, what does it do? Expire. The air comes out. Anytime the air comes out of something, it is dying. When we pass gas, we're dying. The air is leaving. Expire. Inspiration, expiration. All right. So I laid the foundation of involution, evolution, inspiration, and expiration. And now we can get to the nitty gritty of how they govern our lives. Are y'all with me? Y'all follow? Y'all got this, right? So you want to ask, are you evolving? Are you in the process of involution? That means you might be at a fork in the road. That means you have unused desires, and you better be careful with that, because that is thought that is not expressed, right? Thought is not necessarily supposed to express itself leaving the mouth. Look, the moment where I talk about my thoughts are now dead. Thoughts must be in activity. Okay? The moment where I talk about my thoughts, now they don't belong to me no more. Have you ever told someone your thoughts, and then when it was time for you to go do that, you don't have the energy to? Remember, to expire means to. So your genius, if you're talking about your genius, you're killing the ideal. You have to express that. You can't talk about what you're going to do. Do you notice that everybody that says they're going to do something never does it? You know that, right? When people get on Facebook and they talk about their New Year's resolution, I'm not fucking with this person. I'm about to get in shape. I'm about to change my diet. When you check back with them 6 months, they never got to it. Why did they never get to it though? They never got to it because they expired. They expired. Right? 1 second. Hey, I'm doing a live. I'll hit you back. Okay, peace. All right. So don't talk about your ideals. Write them down or express them through movement. Don't talk about your thoughts, right? A lot of the times people ask you what you're thinking. If this is not a person that can take what you say and make it happen for you, then that thought is now dead. It doesn't belong to you no more. Now it belongs to the cloud. Millions of people have expired because they gave away their genius and put it out in the atmosphere, and someone else grabbed that shit. Someone else grabbed that shit. Do not tell people what you're thinking unless this person can take that immediately and move and do something with it. Now, check this out. If somebody does take your ideals and do something with it, that's inspiration. Because guess what inspiration is? Immediate influence of God or a God. That's what it says. So, come on. Y'all got to pick up what I'm putting down. Share the video too. Like the video. I should see hella hearts. If you agree with me, I should see hella hearts going up there. That let the preacher know he's on point. I need to see them hearts and them little thumbs and stuff. Let me see the thumbs. I need to see the thumbs go across my screen. It's free to do that. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's free. Don't worry. It's free. You feel me? It's free. Because when I see that, that gets me more in my bag. You know what I mean? Give me the hearts. Give me the thumbs. Give me the cheesy face. I'll take the cheesy face. That's cool. So, for real though, your thoughts either need to go on paper or your thoughts need to go with somebody that can take your thoughts and do the work with them. All right. If they can't do the work with them, do not tell people what you're thinking, because thought put in the words out of the mouth becomes dead. All right. It becomes dead. So don't kill your high. Don't do that. All right. Don't do that. All right. So a lot of you have no energy. A lot of you have no energy. A lot of you can't move. A lot of you can't get to the shit that you want to do because you're talking too much. You're talking about your dreams. Don't tell people your dreams unless they can be a vehicle for those dreams. All right. So expire is to die, to breathe out, to blow out. Y'all got that? Every time I do this, I get closer to death. Right? When the body dies. When the body dies. Matter of fact, I'll use my personal experience, right? My mother passed Sunday. I'm not saying this for any type of attention or anything, but this is real shit. When my mother passed, I was sitting right there and she expired. She expired right in front of me. The breath just came out of her. I watched it. I heard it, right? Her body shut down. The breath left her body. She could no longer, right? Now, the thing about her too is she had a lot of thought leave the body. She had a lot of thought. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. She never did it. She never did it. So that is a firsthand experience. Like when someone dies, their breath leaves the body. Okay. All right. So let's get into evolution. All right. So we broke down what evolution is. So evolution comes after involution. Remember, inspiration comes first, then expire comes second. All right. So remember, inspiration is a noun and it's the immediate influence of God or a God. Inhale, breathing. The way that you get inspired is through, if you're lacking inspiration, it's because you ain't breathing right. You're usually doing a lot of this. Look, which one of these is, which one am I doing more? Am I inspiring or expiring? Do you know I'm not inhaling? Look at this. Fight or flight. Usually when you're stressed out and you are angry or someone is getting under your skin, the person that can get under your skin usually could get you to do this. You're just all through here. That's why you can't think, right? What was the movie with Will Smith and his son, man? It was and it was about fear, and they was on the airplane. Man, what was that movie? Because I took my son to see that. What he was doing was teaching his son how to breathe in moments of fear, in moments of chaos. He was. This is very important. After Earth, thank you. After Earth. In the movie After Earth, Will Smith, it was a very deep movie because it was talking about fear. And what is fear? Fear is expiration. Fear of something that's coming off of us. And if you really check the times when you're mad, the times when you're sad, the times where someone's getting under your skin, right? The times where someone is really fucking with you. If you really look at your decision making through that process, I bet you was not breathing right. Matter of fact, I'm going to make a bet that all of your life decisions, the decisions that you make that are bad, myself included, I guarantee you I made my decision in a time when I wasn't breathing correctly. I guarantee it. I guarantee you it was a lot of and none of this. In moments of chaos and moments of times when I need to make a quick decision, I guarantee that I didn't. I bet you I didn't do that. And just pay attention to yourself when someone is pressing your buttons. Everybody has that person that can press our buttons a certain type of way. And I bet you when they're doing that, I bet you that's a moment where you're not breathing. I bet you're expiring. All right. Inspiration is influence of God or a God. So if you, in your world, if God is positive to you, if God is positive, then it's something that is going to make you inhale. Anything that snatches your breath away would be considered the devil or Satan or jinn or iblis, whatever you consider negative. Anything negative in your life snatches your breath. Pay close attention and remember that. All right. So let's break down evolution, involution, inspiration, and expiration. Shall we? Y'all with me? Check. Can I get some checks to let me know y'all good? Because I know y'all be trying to do too much and no, we need to get this, right? Y'all good? All right. So evolution, if you was here from the beginning, just briefly so you know, the process of change in a certain direction, unfolding. Evolution is the process of continuous change from a lower, simpler, or worse to a higher, more complex, or better state. That's evolution. All right. So we can say evolution is like physical development. I'm not who I used to be. That's evolution. I was this person. I'm not that. I used to smoke cigarettes. I don't no more. Evolution is action, right? You have upgraded. Okay. So the way that you determine if you're evolving is going to be through people, places, and things. All right. People, places, and things. Now, some of y'all are in the car. Some of y'all at work. All right. Wherever you are, when you get a chance, I need you to take a piece of paper and write people, places, and things. I want you to write people, places, and things when you get a chance. Under people, write every single person in your life, from children to mate to coworker to whoever. Every single person, right? If you talk to them or text or hell, go through your call log, go through your contact list. Every single person, I don't give a damn if it's 200 people, write their name and you dissect and give them an audit if they represent evolution in your life. Remember, evolution is upgrading. Evolution is the process of continuous change from lower, simpler, or worse to a higher, more complex, or better state. So Based on this definition, evolution represents growth. Growth is movement. Okay? That means that your person, places, or things, but we're starting with people. That means the people in your call log, the people that you're texting, they represent growth. Now, also put a G by their name. So that means growth, or you could put an E or you could put a G. If you can't put an E or G, meaning evolution, they represent evolution or they represent growth, you have to put X by it. Even though expire starts with a E, put an X by their name. Because this is the person that snatches breath from you. What does expiration mean? To die, to breathe out, to blow out. If you get a flat tire, that means you can no longer move. You can no longer move because there's no air in it. Do you notice things that have air in it move? Things that don't have air in it cannot move. That's the most elementary analogy I can give you. Everything that's lacking air no longer moves. If you're on a plane, you look at that engine. What is it doing? It's taking air, right? It's filtering air, okay? When that engine stops, that plane is no longer, I don't know what the process, thermodynamics, I don't know. But the plane is dealing with air, right? Check it out. If you're swimming, or throw a solid object in the water, does it float or does it sink? All things with air float. So you see how important air is. So look at the people in your phone, and this is not haters. I ain't trying to gas you up or nothing. It just is the end of a season. I don't give a damn who it is. Your mother, even your own child. If your child is expiring you, then that means you have to upgrade your child because your baby is going to kill you. I don't give a damn how much you love that man or how much you love that woman. Ain't no love in the world strong enough for people to take breath out of you. When people give you CPR, don't they put air in you? So we see that air is the key to life and air is the key to movement. When we don't have no air, we don't have no movement. You can't give me nothing that doesn't have air in it that moves. All movement is based on air. Things that die expire. You driving down the road, you're having a great day, you're going to work. You got a PowerPoint presentation to do. You're having a great time. You lose a little air in that tire. That has now fucked up your movement, right? Water, that is a swampland that doesn't move any, it does not have the oxygen no more. You see how this goes? So I want you to go down your list. Yo, don't just have me up here talking. This is a call to action. Do the work. It is okay. You on your own time. Nobody knows your business. I don't know who's out there. Whoever is out there, do the work. Evolution represents your people, places, and things. Look at the people in your life. All right? Either write a G next to their name or an E, which stands for evolution or growth, or just put an X by it. Now, when you X that name, are you done? Huh? Go ahead. When you X that name, you don't owe an explanation. There is no explanation. Because if you notice, once you start explaining to people why you're not fucking with them no more, do you know you continue to fuck with them? Remember I said, when thought comes out of the mouth, it's dead. When you cut somebody off, you don't owe an explanation. You just say, something quit. It ain't you, it's me, or something like that. When you begin, it's funny. Pay attention to a couple. You might got a woman that's tired of a man or a man that's tired of a woman. Do you know why they're still in that relationship? Because they go explaining each other why they're unhappy. So that unhappy thought is now dead. So now that whole conversation just extended this relationship 8 months. If you're unhappy and you keeping it moving on somebody, you show them. You don't say nothing. They'll get the gist. Oh shit, this person is doing something. You outgrow people. You don't out complain or out talk nobody. You leave people by outgrowing them, because now you become the tallest tree in the forest and you are just, there ain't no problem with it. I just don't see you no more. So as long as the trees are like this with each other, it's all good. They can chitter chatter. But when that tall tree begins to evolve, it ain't no beef. I just don't see you no more. You feel me? So when that thought becomes words, you're not about to leave your relationship. Every woman I know that says she about to leave a man, she never do. Why? Because she put it in words. You got to show that man. You got to show him in your behavior. You ain't got nothing to say. Eventually, he gonna look and be like, damn, she's doing a lot of shit without me. Damn, she's accomplishing a lot of shit. Damn, she don't cook no more. She don't suck me off no more. She used to give me hugs. She don't do that no more. Stop all the talking. Stop all the talking. If you cool on somebody, you don't give an explanation, because you ain't never gonna get out of that season. Because remember, when the breath is going out, come on now, you just a talking ass bitch. That's all you do is talk. Talk. I'm unhappy with him. He doing this, that, and the third. And you ain't doing nothing but expiring, sis. You talk too much. Keep that shit in your mind and put that shit in your work. And that person next to you is just going to realize, damn, he going to feel it. He's going to feel the coldness. You don't got to say nothing. All that talking, killing yourself, right? If you're not using words to increase, the only time we should be talking is to communicate a need. I'm hungry. Quick. Too many words kill us. The only time we should be talking is when we are trying to get something. Hey, that right there. We want to be very mindful of anybody talking to you using real complicated language. Complicated language is there to fuck you up. Trust me. If you can't explain what you're talking about to a child, listen, shorten the distance between don't they say the fastest way to get somewhere is a line? Have you ever seen somebody that's just like, what are you trying to say? You're trying to complicate things, right? It's like a contract. When a person gives you a contract, you see how it fucks you up. The language changes. It goes to Old English, thouest and whither. The other day I was talking about language. Make sure you go back to that one, right? Any so-called teacher or a person that loves you, they're not going to complicate their language. Abraham Hicks does not complicate her language. Louise Hale does not complicate her language. Wayne Dyer don't complicate the language. Jim Rohn and Brian Tracy and Les Brown, their language is simple. Ayanna Van Zandt, their language is very, very, very simple. When you see somebody throwing these words around, they're finessing you. Trust me what I'm telling you. Take it from your brother. All right. So people, places, and things represent evolution. Do this homework for yourself so you can see and you can actually have a bird's eye view of where you are. Okay. Because these people represent seasons. All right. The people in your phone or that you're texting, they represent seasons. Check this out. I'm a dude. This is some game. A lot of times when dudes don't got shit going on, and sometimes I've done this, when I wanted an ego boost, I'll just text a chick that I ain't heard from in a while. And I text her specifically because I know that she's gonna tell me I'm dope and baby, where you been and da 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 da. I know most likely she has not upgraded her season, because if she did, she ain't gonna let me have that small talk. Simple. What are you talking about, nigga? I ain't heard from you in hella long. Why are you hitting me? Oh, just want to say hello. Why? We about to work together? I just want to check on you. Why? That's cool. I feel you. But why though? Feel me? I'm not in that season. I'm in a working season. So unless you're checking on me to tell me, yo, you got something cracking and you think I can be involved in it, don't hit me. Because we changing seasons. I'm telling you, when you put them people on that list and you really be honest, guys and girls do this shit. You really be honest. Some of you niggas, you fucking with them chicks that is killing your upgrade, sir. If you really put her on the list and say, yo, does she represent evolution? No, she don't. You know why? Because she ain't trying to hold you accountable. A lot of dudes leave good women for a beta woman because that beta woman doesn't ask him no questions and makes it easy for him to go over to her house. Let me tell you something. If he got a job and he can't tell his wife that he's fired, right? If he can't tell his wife he's fired, sis, why can he tell you he's fired? You allow him to take the night off when he comes to your house. If he puts food in her crib, he got to put food in your crib. If his wife, he got a car, you got to have a car. There can't be no downgrade because what happens is you're devolving the dude too. And he thinks that because it's easy over there, that's where he should be. And that's where a lot of niggas make mistakes. Yeah, some girls be nagging. Yeah, some girls is headaches. Yeah, she's trying to push you. She might need to find better ways to use her language and another approach. But bro, let me tell you something. I'd rather fuck with a chick that be on my ass than one that don't require nothing but me from dick. Because what's going to happen to you is, because she's sucking and fucking you so good, you're going to think you're winning. You're going to think you're winning. Any chick that don't require you to be the best version of yourself, bro, the pussy ain't worth it, dog. You killing yourself. You killing yourself, bro. It's supposed to be a struggle over there. She's supposed to be coming at your neck. What are you doing? Have you got to them plans that I help you with? What's your next thing? Because for her, if she can't birth ideals, right? If she can't birth ideals, then she can't do her magic. So you're fucking her up too. Nigga, you're coming over there with nothing but dick. That ain't work. Come on. So just like the ladies got to put these men down, you got to put them girls down, bro. Yo, at this point, it ain't no easy panties, my nigga. No easy panties, because that's going to devolve you. We're trying to evolve you. At this point, we all got bodies. We all had sex. We all was nasty. But now we got shit to do, right? We got shit to do. So please put your people down on that list. And if they don't represent evolution, mark an X by their name. And remember, you don't owe an explanation. If you get caught up in explaining yourself, you're not out that relationship. In fact, you have just extended the time period of relationship. Okay. Evolution is per people, places, and things. All right. Let's go to places. When you're done writing your people down, write the places that you would like to go. The places that you would like to go. Now, when you write them places that you would like to go, ask yourself, do you show behavior that matches that place? Because guess what? You act out where you hang. Gutter motherfuckers hang in the gutter. Do you see that people change their behavior when they go into affluent environments? Do you see that? Y'all do notice that, right? When y'all go to a place where it's quiet and people are balling, you don't act the same. You straighten up. You fuck around and throw that can that you used to throw in the trash, you throw it in the garbage now. Now your behavior changes, right? Right where you trying to go. the places that you're trying to go. Now, places include employment opportunities. Placement includes networking event. Placement includes countries. If you want to go to Saudi Arabia, you can't act like no nigga. Trust me, you getting fucked up. That loud shit you be doing in America, can't nobody tell me nothing. You can't go to Saudi Arabia and act like that. You can't go to Middle East and act like that. Hell, you niggas can't go to Africa and act like that. They gonna get on your helmet. You feel me? So the place that you're trying to go has to coincide with your behavior. You act out where you hang. Period. All right? If your behavior is trash, it's because you ain't going nowhere. You always know a nowhere going motherfucker. Look at how they act. You ain't trying to go nowhere. You ain't trying to do nothing. You ain't trying to do nothing. You got a lot of women talking about they looking for a man. Okay, where? Where are you looking for a man? Oh, all these niggas ain't shit. Well, you dumpster dive, baby. Where are you looking for a man? I guarantee you ain't signed up for no Robert Kiyosaki free event. I guarantee you ain't signed up for no Damon Johns free event. I guarantee you ain't at Abraham Hicks events. I guarantee you ain't at art events. I guarantee you ain't nowhere. You at the spot getting chicken wings and fried rice. Of course you finna find a fucked up nigga. He's eating chicken wings and rice. What the fuck do you expect from the Chinese store? Like, let's be real here. You ain't trying to find no man. You just talking. And how would you know ain't no good man? You don't go to good places, right? How much do you spend to find a good nigga? Shit. How much do you spend? Yeah. How much do you spend? How much did you drop on the Black Enterprise event? How much did you spend to go to the Essence Fest talking about you want a good dude? How much you spend to get that? How much have you spent on yourself? And I ain't talking about your ass or your lips or your tits. How much did you spend on lectures? How much did you spend on conferences? How much did you spend on Rosetta Stone? People is full of shit. You don't want nothing. Straight like that. All these women ain't shit. Nigga, it costs you $10 to get in the strip club. What the fuck do you expect, nigga? It costs you $10. So your return is going to be on that level. How much did you spend on yourself, bruh? Because a lot of the times at these conferences, it's all women. Where the dudes at? You dudes is full of shit. How much did you spend to find your wife? Because it costs. How much did you spend? Did you put $1,000 down on a conference that you ain't have, but so you can go soak up game at these business conferences? You niggas just take trips to DR. How much did you spend, yo? How much you spend on yourself? How much did you spend? So after you write your people down, you write your places down. Now, this is all evolution. Evolution deals with people, places, and things. How much were you trying to go? Where is it that you're trying to go? You got to write this shit down. All right. Now, when I'm doing my counseling sessions and people are talking about they can't find nobody, I know they not really looking. I know they full of shit. People just be talking. People ain't really about that life. Because guess what? If you want a man, you're going to get one. If you want a woman, you're going to get one. That's a fact. Because you're going to be relentless about that shit. If you want to upgrade, if you want to network, you're going to figure out the tools to make that shit happen. These days, I have no tolerance or patience for anybody on some fuck shit. Miss me with that. Them other people will stroke your ego. You got to get from around me if you ain't trying to do the work. You got to get from around me. So you write your people down. Then you write your places. Where are you trying to go? And are you trying to make the behavioral sacrifices to get there? I said behavioral sacrifice. That means you can't act like that no more. Sis, you fly with your mouth. To go where you trying to go, you can't act like that no more. Bro, to go where you trying to go, you can't be thirsty. Some of those women you can't fuck, my dude. Some of those women are just for networking, my nigga. You can't fuck all the girls, dog. To get where you trying to go, you're going to have to keep some of them women as good contacts because you might fuck up your money. I'm just telling you what I know, sir, sis. Take it or leave it. All right? So you got people, you got places, and you got things. What are things? What are things? Things is what we treasure. Now, the Bible says the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Did you miss that, Jewel? This is all evolution. Hands. What if your hands could give a testimony on you? What if your hands right now could talk and they could give a testimony about you? What would your hands say? Okay. Yes, heaven is in us, but heaven is also our hands. What do we touch? You know a person what they treasure by what they always touch. Okay? Now this is evolution. What are you touching? What are you touching right now? I don't need you to talk. Only thing I need to do is see where your hands are. And I know who you are. I know who you are. If you got a pen in your hand and I always see you jotting down notes, you might be working on a business plan. You might be writing down notes so you don't forget. You might be figuring out a math equation. A person with a pencil always in their hand, that's a person I want to talk to. What is it that is always in your hand? My father always had a beer in his hand. My daddy always had a beer in his hand. My daddy died at 54 years old. That is a young man. He didn't even reach the pinnacle and the apex and the zenith of his manhood. He died at 54. Guess what was always in his hand? Liquor. Always. That's where his treasure was. When he had every opportunity to take his money and put it elsewhere, what he put it on? He put it on alcohol. He always had his hands on women too. He had children that never knew each other. One time, I was, someone came and got me and they said, hey, do you want to meet your sister? This is my sister on the father's side. He said, do you want to meet your sister? And I said, sure. I was 15. I lived around the corner from my sister on my father's side. And I didn't even know her. Do you know I could have been trying to fuck this girl? So my daddy had a daughter around the corner. When I'm talking about 2 minutes walking around me, that was my sister. He never told us. Then we found out we had brothers. Then we found out, boy, you better watch what your hands touch. Better watch what your hands touch, because what your hands touch represent evolution. What is it that your hands are touching? Throughout the day, pay attention where your hands are. When I go to a mall and I'm going up an escalator, I don't touch the rail, right? I'm very mindful of what my hands touch because I inherited, remember I started talking about evolution? I inherited a lot of my father's qualities. So when my hands was always on women, guess what my hand wasn't always on? Money. Let's go to involution. So I classify evolution as physical development, right? People, places, and things, okay? So involution is, let's say, development of spirit. Involution, right? remember the etymology of involution was the enfolding or entangling. All right. The etymology was, let me see, condition of being twisted or coiled, twisted. So something is not made straight. Something is not flowing like it's supposed to, right? So involution is let's call it a spiritual flow. So wealth and real estate and homes, and that's physical evolution. But it's the unseen that governs the physical. Okay. So involutionary development starts like this. You got to realize that we are not just the body. Okay. Now let me tell you how slavery works. Slavery works a few ways. You can have physical bondage, and you can have a bondage that's agreed upon. The way our system works in the West, it is designed to keep you locked in a human experience. All right. So it severs a connection with us and the unseen. Okay. We have magnetism going around us and electricity going around us. And there's colors that we can't see. And there's things that we can't hear. There's dimensions happening simultaneously. This is facts. All you have to do is pick up a science journal. Now we're talking about multiple parallel universes side by side with us. And this is what they say they're doing with CERN, trying to merge realities. Okay. There's many different yous on many different levels. So what we get caught in this concept of time and space, and we get caught in the physical body, having a human experience, eating, sleeping, shitting, fucking, working, and we think it's just that. And because we're caught in a physical reality, we don't enfold the spirit. And the bad thing about that is, we were spirit first. Before we got here, we was. You did. Our memory really activates when we go to sleep. We do all of our growth and development in a sleep state, right? Because there's no time and space. So we be so locked, jam-packed in this. Oh, I gotta get money. The bag. Oh, wedding rings, car insurance. I mean, you name it. And what does that do? Remember expiration? We expire. We expire when we're totally caught in the human experience. What are the things that our society promotes for spiritual development? And what that means is spiritual awakening, because the shit is dead. That's what involution is. Twisted and coiled. It is dead. We never had a conversation with it. I remember Bobby Hemmett saying, sometimes you got to make a telephone call to your own ass. You got to make a telephone call to your own self. Like, yo, you in there? You in there? Because it's all this right here. For your involution, when are you going to make a phone call to your other self to let it know it's alive? Because it's dead. It's dead. And our society makes it so. What does the society do? It has us believe in our five senses are our real senses, which is false. Because if that's the case, how come I can close my eyes and I can still see? If I can hear, how come I can't hear a dog whistle? If I can smell, how come I can't smell past seasoning? If I can touch, if this is real touch, then how come when Mahalia Jackson sings, I get goosebumps? How come when Yolanda Adams sings a damn song, the hair stands on my head and on my arm? When someone touches me, that don't happen. Okay? If these are real senses, how come when I use them, they usually ruin my life? When I use my eyes to mate with a woman, she probably ain't shit. When I use my tongue to taste food, I'm probably eating something that got cholesterol and sugar, right? When I hear, I'm going to get into hearing too. The shit that I hear is killing me, because we're going to get into 528 hertz, right? I'm going to play something for you. The senses that the West tell us to use are killing us. The way that we're trained to use our senses is literally killing us. Because when we're touching each other, that ain't touch. And when we're tasting, that ain't taste. And the shit that we see, that ain't real. If so, then goddamn it, David Blaine could not pull a rabbit out of a hat in front of my face. And I was looking. You feel me? The best magic tricks are done up close. Because the closer you are, the less you see, right? So you got to make a call to your own ass and say, yo, you in there? Now that you that you talking about too is androgynous, okay? It doesn't have a form. It just is. And it's trapped in this shell because this is the fall of man. When it talks about Adam and Eve, the fall of man is this reality. Our real world is when we go to sleep. Study junk DNA. If it is true that junk DNA begins to activate the moment that you go to sleep, then what is this reality right here? And how come the ancients talked about not coming back here? If this is so good, how come those people was like, no, don't come back? Why? Because these senses, it's not real. So you want to make a phone call to your own ass for your spiritual development, right? And one of the ways to do that is to be attached but not attached. You can acquire this shit, but don't love this shit. It don't love you back. And the things you own end up owning you. Don't love this shit. Yeah, I would love to drive a Bentley, but it's just a car. Do you understand? Every single thing we buy will break. Every single thing we buy needs an upgrade. They're going to come out with a new version next month or next year. That's the way the West was created, because the people that created it used to chase their food. And I'm going to slow that down so you understand that. If the people that used to chase and trap their food designed your society, you're fucked. And you have to figure out another way to maneuver inside the society. You understand? If you are chasing and you have to outthink your food, you don't hear me though. You don't hear me though. When I pick my food and plant my food, I move different, right? See, when you pick your food, when you're done, you can plant your food. You can give back. So you're just not a consumer. So when you pick something off a tree, then you plant your food. Pick and plant. That's how the shit goes. Pick, eat, plant. Right? When you chase your food, you are in constant cycle. You have to problem solve. But nature is abundant. Nature is not a problem that has to be solved. But that's the society we live in. And those that develop this culture chase their food. So we have a cultural clash. You feel me? So if the people that design this shit, if they chase their food, they're always going to make upgrades to their contraptions, just like they made upgrades to their traps. A bear trap, boom. Now I need to make another different upgrade, boom. Because you are in a constant cycle of, also, the people that designed this society was in conflict with the environment. So when you're in conflict with your environment, You worship angry gods. God or gods are developed based on the environment. So if I live next to the water, what kind of God do I have? A water god. If I live in the mountains, what kind of God do I have? A mountain god. Yeah. If I live in the ice, what kind of God do I have? An ice god. And my mythology is based on Yetis. If I lived in a forest, I have a forest god and my mythology is based on Bigfoot. If I live around snakes, then my mythology is based on the serpent. That's how it goes, right? Now, in our society, we are governed by Odin, a Norse god. Study Norse traditions. The Vikings were very, very, very brutal people. But their behavior was based on their God, and their God was based on the environment. It's man that creates gods. Gods are human ideals. This is why you have so many around the world. And based on where that culture lives, that God of that culture is going to represent the environment. All you got to do is look into it. Study desert people. Do you think they have a water God? Right? And the opposing force, the Satan is going to be an opposing element. So if you come from a ice climate, what's going to be the deity opposite of yours? A fire god. You feel me? Jesus. Okay. So, no attachments. Also, in involution, one thing that we have to, not have to, but I want to put something on your mind real quick. Let me see what my time looking like. Okay, I want to put something on your mind real quick, right? About the universe. If I ask the average person what the universe is, they can't tell me. They can't tell me. If I say, what's the universe? They can't tell me. They don't necessarily know. The universe is you, all right? You notice when you go to NASA and you look at all pictures of space, how come there are always illustrations? Why aren't they real pictures? Shouldn't we have amazing pictures from the space station? How come we don't, though? Right? How come we don't? How come we don't have amazing pictures from the space station? What's the deal with that? How come how come our concepts of space, they come from movies? So we think things look like that. Do you know why? Because when you're looking up, you ain't doing nothing but looking at your own soul. You're looking at your soul. The moon and the sun represent the heart and the brain. Okay? There is no space. That is nothing but you. There ain't no meteors coming to Earth. That things come out. They don't come down. Where does plants come from? Out. Where does aluminum come from? Out. Where does rubber come from? Out. Everything comes out of something. Things don't come down. Life comes out of the man. Life comes out of the woman. Do you understand? Things come from in to out. They start in and they come out. That's how it goes. So when you're looking up, you ain't doing nothing but looking at yourself. So when you say your higher self, that's what the higher self is. What else would it be? What else would it be? You notice that you have a solar system, and do you notice that you have a solar plex? Do you notice that your body is almost 100 degrees? It is heat going on in your body. The universe is inside of you. Didn't they tell you that in the fifth element? In the fifth element, she said, what? The stones are in me. Oh, shit. Oh shit. Do you notice that when you study indigenous cultures? No, let me tell you this. In the West, their spirituality is on the outside of their body. There's two forms of spirituality. Outer and inner. You know how I know? Let's practice polarity. Oh, not polarity, but let's do this. You notice if you step on a cockroach or an ant, you know when you hear that crack, why does it sound like that? That's because roaches, ants, many insects have their skeleton on the outside of their body. Then there's also skeletons on the inside of certain bodies. Nature always has duality to it. So there's spirituality on the outside of your body and there's spirituality on the inside of your body. Jesus, Allah, Buddha, Moses, all that shit are spiritual concepts on the outside of the body. Your deity is on the outside of you. Then there's spirituality when everything is on the inside of you. Now, check this out. When people are doing astrology, do you really think they know where the hell the planet Pluto is? No. That is chemical things that are going on inside of the people based on environment. Oh, my 12th house. That's all going on inside of you. Yo, the Egyptians put a lot of stock into death, not life. Death. We put a lot of stock. We put a lot of stock in life. What about death though? Why were the Egyptians so concerned with death? All of their concepts are about death in the inner world. That's the slavery. You think you're really here, but you're not. Okay? And what happens is we created physical gods that govern us. Zeus, Mithra, Dionysus, and these gods govern our reality. And if we don't physically make them happy, they're going to give us a physical punishment. Heaven and hell is a physical place. You're going to burn in a lake of fire. Energy don't burn. You can't take a spirit and throw it in fire. What the hell? It is the fire. You feel me? So in the West, their technology is their spirituality. Now, the same way that they create iPhones, the same way that they create amazing structures. It's amazing. The Hoover Dam, the bridges and infrastructure. It's amazing. You can do that same work on the spiritual level, right? When your child goes missing, when things are hurting you, you have physical prayers. Remember? When you pray, remember what I'm talking about? Expire. Once it comes from thought, it's dead. Your spiritual system is supposed to solve your problems. Because in the West, their spiritual system solves their problems. Okay, I'm just going to make a gun and kill you and take it. What is your spiritual system to solve your problem? You have to know that the universe is inside of you. It's inside of you. Since you can't see it, you look up. There ain't nothing out there but you. Let me tell you something. Everywhere you go, there you are. That's the big secret. Ain't nothing out there. Because funny, they don't go to the moon anymore. Okay. There's nothing out there but you. That's the big secret. Shh, don't tell nobody. All right. So I kind of touched on it a little bit, but I got to go into it more. So this is involution. As above, so below. We know that. As above, so below. But as in, so out. As in, so out. Your life represents what you're thinking. As above, so below. If you're telling me everything that happens up there happens down here, then everything happens in here happens out here. We never deal with as in, so is out. Because if we did, then we will be accountable for our life. There's no way that, and this is going to hurt somebody's feelings, but there ain't no way that you can be in a domestic situation if you did not have something going on inside of you. There ain't no way you can have an ate shit wife if there ain't nothing going inside of you. Ain't nobody no victim. If I did an audit on your mentality, that chick talking to you crazy represents conversations that you go on with yourself. So somewhere along the line, your subconscious mind was programmed to have that kind of conversation, and that woman or that man represents that conversation that you're having. Everything going on with us just represents the conversation that we're already having with ourselves. As above, so below. As in, so out. But it first starts with the conversation. That first 7 years of the child, their subconscious mind being trained, right? We have a mind behind the mind. Okay. That mind behind the mind is going to bring people that represent that conversation with themselves. I can tell you I look good all day, but if the mind behind the mind saying, no, you don't, you're ugly, I'm going to attract a woman that calls me that shit. As above, so below. As in, so out. Genius starts where? That goes back to inspiration. All right. So evolution, involution. Write your people, places, and things down. Also work on your spiritual development. No attachments with being attached without being attached. The universe is you, and work on that mind behind the mind, that conversation that you're having with yourself. Okay? Let's go over the inspiration. We was dealing with inspiration. We seen that inspiration was breathing. That was inspiration. That was what inspiration is. But I got another word that I like for inspiration. I like nutrition. Nutrition. Now, the sight, sound, and touch are all forms of inspiration. All right. Things that you see represent your vibration. If you can't see it, it's because it's moving too fast and you moving too slow. There are people that are around the world that have fine-tuned themselves to see ghosts or see things, strange images. Those images are moving very, very, very fast. If you can't see it, it's because you're moving too slow, because your sight and your inspiration, your level of inspiration is not fine-tuned. There's stories of gnomes, nymphs, fairies, and all cultures write about this shit. Why can't you see it? Just because you can't see it don't mean it's not there clearly, because I can drag my feet on a carpet and manifest electricity and shock somebody. So electricity is there, right? It's there. I just can't see it because my level of inspiration is low. Your level of inspiration has to be high so you can see what's really there. It's hella shit cracking. Yo, sometimes I'll be driving and I look over and it's a building and I'll be like, man, that always been there. Has it ever happened to you? Have you been driving home from work and then you look and been like, where the fuck that come from? Why you never seen that? Your level of awareness was low because you should see all things. We should see all things. Now, what you see is based on your vibration. So I ask you, the other day, I was on Instagram and I was scrolling and I had unliked it. Then I liked it again because I got bored and I see the shade room, and on the shade room, it was, Masika, and then it was Alexis Sky or somebody, some reality show chick. They was talking about each other's kids, right? And I said, oh shit, I got to get out of this. And I unfollowed them. I can't see that. The fact that I seen that day told me everything about my vibration. Because guess what? No top earners in the world, no people living their best life is going to be able to tell you who the fuck Mona Scott is. Well, who? They do what? Oh, no. I had to take baller alert, all that shit that's throwing shade. The fact that I can see it tells me where I'm at. I'm not supposed to see that shit. If people ask me, hey, Ken, yo, you seen that? I'm supposed to be just aloof. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't fuck with shit like that. Right? So if I see it, that represents my vibration. If I see it, you feel me? So be very, 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 very clear on what you look at. What's your nutrition online? Think about all the shit you watched today. That represents your vibration. All right? So I got to wrap this up. So now we're going to go to sound. Let's go to sound real quick. I'm going to play off something. Okay? I'm going to play off something. Do y'all know sound? Sound. Do you know that sound is a form of inspiration? Do you know 528 hertz? Do you know about that? I'm going to play something real quick. Just a little quick snippet, right? So if anybody comes in the room, just tell them what I'm doing. So just listen to somebody describe sound and how sound affects the DNA. Listen to this. Listen to this.
And closed doors that no man can open. I had no knowledge whatsoever that that was 528. And now we have substantive evidence, massive amounts of evidence that that is what 528 is. And the doors that are opening are those doors that are happening in the activists and the people in the street of Egypt. It are the doors to people's hearts. It is the doors to love. It is the doors to faith and joy that is inherent, and it's our destiny to fulfill that level of freedom of expression that we can't have, because ultimately what has happened with this planet is that we are in dissonance to another note, another frequency. It turned out that when we discovered the original musical scale, there was not just 6, but a total of 9 core creative frequencies to the universe. That is, everything in the universe is made from 9 notes, only 9. And that the first 6 are the solfeggio, and then there's 3 additional ones that form a perfect circle of sound. And that perfect circle of sound looks something like this. If you graph it. So the first 6 notes, 396, 417, 528, 639, 741, 852, was the original solfeggio scale. The 528 that you can see on my left in green is the color green. It's the heart of the rainbow. That's the miracle note from the original solfeggio note, from the original solfeggio scale. And the other note that you see, 741, which is part of nature, is called the devil's interval in musicology. That when you play 741 with 528, it creates such an annoying and dissonant energy, diseasing, stressful, that if you continue to listen to it, you could die. And so that the concept here is interesting. In the world today, we have people who are controlling virtually everything economically, geopolitically. Their agenda has been population manipulation, population control for millennia. They have held the secret knowledge, the ancient music, by which the pyramids were constructed based on the math. All of the universe is constructed according to these 9 tones. They knew about them. In fact, they instituted. In fact, it was the Rockefeller Foundation in 1939 that instituted the world's standard tuning. The Western world tunes to A440 hertz frequency. That when you tune your instrument to that, the F sharp note is 741. Precisely. Not 7.41.1 or .2, it's 741, which meant that there was a clear, scientifically researched intent, and indeed that's exactly what happened. The 741 A440 link came out of military research in the 1930s to induce psychosocial stress and dis-ease to the max. It was selected that A440 would be the standard tuning for the Western world. In fact, quote, mass hysteria, end quote, could be induced by instituting that frequency. And now you begin to explain why you went from the era of Frank Sinatra, where women would mostly swoon over Frank. Suddenly, Elvis Presley, rioting began. It was scientifically determined for military acoustic warfare research that if you simply used A440 standard tuning, that you could engage about 6% of the population, perhaps, to actually go into this kind of crisis, into this hysteria.
Okay. So, sight, sound, inspiration. Now, I ask you this. Not to hate on anybody, but when you look at the people are sick. What is it that they listen to? Cardi B's shit is number one. That's great. No hating on the girl, but she's not a master teacher and she's not a scientist. What frequency is her music? What frequency is all this shit? Because you heard it for yourself. 528 hertz. Look into that. Love has a sound to it. A sound. That's inspiration. That is inspiration. All these people that are popping and you're like, stop hating on them. The people that are running things are priests and priestess. You think this shit is just music? No, and I'm not hating. I'm giving you the choice. You choose what you fuck with. There's a sound of health. Being healthy and wealthy has a sound to it. Just like sight. Sound, right? In the beginning was the word. What is the sound of the things that you're listening to, and what does it do to your DNA? If I put sand on a vibrating speaker, the sand begins to form some type of sacred geometry, right or wrong. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just letting you know, and you choose. You have choice. There's nothing like choice. Do whatever you want to do, right? Then the last one is touch. Touch. This is not touch right here. This is not touch right here, right? This is not touch. Touch is whatever affects you on the heart, okay? Now, there's people in your life that has the ability to touch you a certain type of way. And they touch you with their words. They touch you with your vibe, right? Only a deity can touch your heart. Now, you have higher and lower degrees of deities. But I implore you to check in your life and see who it is touching your heart. We're all deities. What kind of deity is touching your heart, yo? Who's touching your heart? That is very, very important. Who's stressing you out? Who's making you move a certain type of way? Who is it that's touching your heart? They are deity, and they have the power over whether you're going or not, whether you're inspiring or expiring, right? Sight, sound, and touch. This ain't touch. Touch is based on energy, all right? Remember that. And the thing about it is energy is not based on agreeing or not agreeing. You don't have to agree for my energy to affect you. So remember that. So the people in your space, you do not have to agree for them to affect your energy. So you got to guard your shit. The same way you lock your phone or the same way you lock your safe, we don't do the same when it comes to energy. Anybody could come in. And energy is based on attention. Be careful when you give your attention because attention has to do with mental. All right. And the last one out of involution, evolution, inspiration is expiration, which should explain itself. Beware of the things that take your breath away. I've heard women say, oh my God, he took my breath away. But based on the etymology of expiration, anything that takes your breath away is going to kill you. You put life in somebody. You don't take it out. The baby taking its first breath, what breath does it take upon entry? My dying mother Sunday, what breath did she take? Breath left her body. When you come here, you inhale. Be very careful of the people that take your breath away. And when they're taking your breath away, they're stressing you. They're causing you ill will. You'll always know where you at in life based on how you're breathing. Pay attention to how the person that you fuck with makes you breathe. Are they making you inspire or expire? That's mad simple. And I hope I explained it to you on a level that you can explain to your child. I'm going to wrap this up. If you want to follow up with me, you can. My hotline is 888-565-8734. Make sure you check out kenbrisbon.com. Ladies, make sure you check out Ladies Night right there if you haven't. And if you have, I hope that it helps you navigate. Okay? So play the video back, share it. Whether you agree, disagree, it's all good. I appreciate the people that stay here. Seen a few trolls, but I fuck with y'all so much. Y'all make me. So those trolls not gonna make me. You see how that works? So, if you don't do nothing else, love yourself. And remember this. You gotta put something down and pick something up. I'm your bro, Ken Brisbon. And I'll see you motherfuckers next time. Peace.